we're going to do now is we're going to edit the newsletter. So all you do is click on Newsletter on the left-hand side, and then Edit and Manage. As you can see, you've got a number of folders here and a number of different newsletters that you've got created. As we chose the templates folder, we just need to select the templates folder, and there you'll see the newsletter that you've created. Once selecting the newsletter, you'll see on the right hand side you've got a number of different options. So you can preview the newsletter just to make sure that that's the newsletter that you want to edit, which is fine. You've got Open in Editor. You can rename the newsletter, copy the newsletter, and also move it and delete it. There are additional advanced features or advanced options at the bottom. Edit email snippet, export to HTML, inbox preview, spam check, and also a new option which is HTML email optimizer. The email snippet will just allow you to put text in there, and that will display next to the subject line. Export HTML, if you want to export the newsletter and obviously import it again at a later date, then you can do that. Inbox preview, that tool will allow you to see what the newsletter is going to look like in 14 different email clients. Rather than you sending a test to different email clients, this one can be done for you. The spam check, that's being used to check the spam score rating of your newsletter to make sure that it's not going to get put in the spam box. If you've got a high spam score, then obviously you can just, it'll give you a description on how to change that. Now the new feature, which is Email Optimizer, once you select that, what it'll do is it'll generate a report for that newsletter and tell you any errors within your coding that you can change. So one of the suggestions here is just use inline CSS as well to target elements. So that's that. It gives you different validations as well at the top. So you got auto request and also tips saying the alt images, the images for the alt tags haven't been used in that one, and you haven't got any social media within your newsletter, so you may want to place them in there. So as I was saying, we just need to edit this, so we just click on Open in Editor and then Edit. Again, this is just going to take us into the 2011 editor, so we can just alter the images and the text to fit what you need in that newsletter. So here we're just going to type some example text just to show how that would change. You've got the features on the left hand side where you can change the way the text looks. You can add a hyperlink or any subscription links in there. You can add images. If you want to change the format of the text to be centered, then you can use the format section. The edit section will show you the grids that are being used, and the personalization, which we're going to get to in a moment. Now, another very user-friendly option within the editor is the image editor. Now, what that'll do is it'll allow you to actually edit the image while you're in the newsletter editor. So all you need to do is just double-click on any image that you want to edit, and it will take you into the image editor. So it's just loading for 1 second there. So you can see that you've got 3 layers at the moment. You've got the text at the top, the image, and then also a border image. You can look at the layers at the top just by clicking that drop-down menu. And you can see there's a mask, image, and then text. To edit text, all you do is just double-click, highlight the text that's already there, and just add your own text in there. Once you're happy, just click on the little tick to save it. As you'll see, it just moves it there, and you can move it around the image. We're just going to put it in the corner there. Now the alt text down here, this again, just if the images don't display when you send your email, such as if you haven't embedded the images and the recipient needs to click on the display images icon before the images display, this means that the alt text will show example. So it's just a brief description of what your image is, just so that you can know what to expect. Also, we've got the hyperlink here. So if you want to hyperlink this image, you can just put that in there. So your website, and that will hyperlink that. So all we do is just click done to save and finish, and that will save that image along with the alt text and the hyperlink and take you back to the newsletter editor. So as you should be able to see, the image is now changed to say example. So as you can see, it's changed now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the personalization into this section here. So we're just going to put there, and then what I want to do is just add subscriber tags. So you just click personalization on the left, subscriber tags, and then we're going to put the first name. Now when we imported the file earlier, we imported it into the contacts dataset. So we need to make sure that the first name is taken from the contacts dataset. So you select the first name there, and then click Insert. Do the little comma if you wish. Once you're happy with that, you can either click Save and then continue to edit your newsletter, or just click Done and exit. Now this is just taking us back to the home screen. So the quickest way to know that the personalization has worked correctly is just to click on Send on the left hand side, and then you've got Preview. So if you just select the preview, and you've got the mailing list there, so you need to select the correct mailing list and also the newsletter. So as we can see, if we scroll down in the preview, you've got Dear, and then we've got Jake, which is the first name for the first contact in that mailing list. If you want to check a different contact, all you need to do is just type or obviously paste the different contact in there. So what we're going to do is change it from being example 1, which will display Jake, to example 3, which will display a different person. So you just, in the search email text box, click search, and then when you scroll down, it's changed to Bob. So we know that the personalization is working for the different email addresses as well. If you had it on the wrong mailing list, what you'll see is that it says Dear and then nobody there. This is because there's no added data in that data set that we added the personalization for. So obviously we just need to make sure that we have selected the correct mailing list, and then it'll appropriately show. Once you're happy with that, you can send a test. We'd always advise to send a test before you actually send out your email, just so you can see how the email is going to be presented in the email client, because I'm sure, as you know, some of the email clients will interpret the HTML code differently. So all we do in this section is just add the to email address, so that's sending it to, and then the from details. The subject line, obviously you can change any of that details there. Also what you'll see here is you've got the check the spam score. Now what that'll do is it'll give you a spam score rating for this newsletter. So when you send the email off, the recipient server will receive the email and it will give it a spam score. And depending on that spam score, it will either place it in the spam folder or in the inbox. So all you need to do is just click on check spam score there. This menu will appear and it'll just continue to update every 20 seconds until you actually get the spam score rating. So we're just going to minimize that for now. While that's doing that, we're just going to send ourselves a test. At the top it just says test sent successfully. So that's fine. So then obviously once you're happy with the test that you received and also you've checked the spam score rating, you can just go on to send to the mailing list. Now to send to your mailing list, all you do is click on send on the left hand side and then send to mailing list. Here you'll see the mailing list that you can select. You've got the from email address, you've got the from name and also the subject line. So if just put example subject line. Now on the right, you'll see that there's a preview from the mailing list, so you can see the different email addresses that are in the mailing list that you've selected, just to make sure that you've selected the correct one. Also, you'll see there's two icons on the right, which I'm just hovering over now. That's just to personalize the subject line. So as we personalized the newsletter with the first name, what we want to do is just bring this across, and we'll be able to personalize the first name in the subject line. So all you do is just click copy, or just copy to clipboard. You can close that down, and then we can just put hi, and then the first name, which is the code for that. So we'll say hi, and then Jake, example subject line. Now the other options that you've got down here is attach a file, such as embed images. So to embed images, just tick that option there. And that means that when the email is sent and received, in the inbox preview, they'll automatically be able to see the images, so they won't need to click on any links to say display images or anything like that. You've also got the ability to attach a file if you wish to. As it states here though, every 100 kilobytes or thereafter will increment your send credit usage by 1. That applies to the embed images. So embed images is 1 credit, and then the newsletter is 1 credit, so credits per email is 2. So as you can see, the calculator will show you exactly how many credits you're going to use before you actually send. So once you're happy with that, all you do is click send, and then obviously you would send it. As this is an example email addresses, we're just going to cancel that because we don't need to send it. Now on the left hand side, we're going to look at the reports and statistics for the previous send that I did. So you just click on reports and statistics, and then view by send. Here we've got an outline of the different reports that we've got. So we've got the Q date, the newsletter that was sent, the mailing list, and obviously the sent, delivered, opened, clicked, and forwarded, and also unsubscribed if there was any people that did so. If you want to view it in more detail, all you need to do is click on this little magnifying glass. You've got more detail instantly here, so you can see the subject line that you used, if you're embedded any images, any files, and so on. Now the important information on the right hand side, you've got opened, unsubscribed, clicked, forwarded, social shares, and things like that. So if you click on opened, as that's a link, you'll see what email addresses actually opened your email, what time and the date that they opened it, the platform that you used, and also the browser. As it says here, it's using browser Chrome. If they were using Outlook, then it would state Outlook, but obviously they must have been using Gmail or Hotmail or something along those lines. So also what we can do is we can go to the clicked, see the click statistics. So it says that 2 people have actually clicked on some links within the email, and these are the links that are there that have been clicked. It's been clicked 2 times, so we just click on the magnifying glass again, and we can see what date and time they clicked on it, who it was, and how many times. Social shares on the right hand side, so it's social shares 1, and you can see that that was done to the Facebook. So if you want to view who actually shared it on Facebook, we just click on the magnifying glass, and then you can see the work_at live.co.uk. So that's a brief outline of all of the stages that you need to go through within GraphicMail. Hopefully you've enjoyed this webinar, and we look forward to having you as a client of ours.